What's up, Stargate members? So, I just kind of wanted to go through a recap of what we talked about last week in the consultations about the Stargate strategy and the three rules you want to do to, have the most success with it. So, if we remember that, first, we're going to hide the indicator. We're going to be on the 1 day, and we're going to find the market structure for the macro trend, all right? So, we're looking for higher highs and higher lows for bullish market structure. And then for bearish market structure, we're looking for lower highs and lower lows. We want to identify key resistance and support, and if there's any trend lines in there as well. So we turn off the indicator, we're on the 1 day, and we're trying to identify, all right, what kind of market structure are we in? So we see here, we have a low come in, then we have a high come in. Then we had a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So we know that we're in bullish market structure. So after that, we're going to turn on the indicator and we're going to look and see, all right, the reason why there's many more sell signals here for the 1 day is because in bullish market structure, there's way more opportunities to sell than there are for buying because it's constantly going up. And any dip down is very short lived and it's bought up quicker because people have that mindset of, oh, it's just going to keep going up. So when there is like a 10% dip or a 15% dip, it's bought up very quick in the hopes of knowing that, okay, this is going to continue going up because that's what it's been doing. It's holding this bullish market structure of higher highs and higher lows. So on a 1 day, you're seeing that sell signals come in, but no buy signals come in. That's why we'll go down to a lower time frame to compensate for that. So we'll go down for like a 12-hour, 8-hour, 6-hour, 4-hour for buying opportunities in bullish market structure. And then we'll use the 1 day, the 2 day, and the 3 day for selling because since it's going up for longer, we're going to stretch out the time frames to be longer to know when the best opportunities to sell. So on a 1 day, we're going to use these sell signals. They're looking like they're hitting perfect. Then we can use the 2 day. And then those are coming in. We can use the 3 day. And then we can even use the weekly if you wanted to as well. So we'll go to the weekly. And then that nailed the top right up there. So that's why bullish market structure, we're using even higher time frames to know when to sell. And then we're using lower time frames to know when to buy during the dip since they're short-lived and bought up quicker. So now we'll go down to like a 12-hour. All right, when are we going to buy during this? So now you see 12-hour, some buy signals come in. So that was a bottom. That was a bottom. That was a bottom. And then we can go down to like an 8-hour, and we're trying to match multiple time frames with the signals to know the best opportunities to buy. So on a 12-hour, it flashed a buy signal there, and on the 8-hour. Now let's check the 6-hour. And it flashed one on the 6-hour too. So that's showing that that's a great buy signal during this bullish market structure. This is a great dip to buy right there because on multiple time frames, it's flashing a buy signal. So now that we know the rules for bullish market structure, it's basically the reverse for bearish market structure. We're using the 1 day, the 2 day, the 3 day, and the 1 week to know when to buy. And we're using the 12-hour, 8-hour, 6-hour, and 4-hour to know when to sell. Because now I'll go out here and we'll see. We'll take this indicator off for a sec. And we notice right here that we had, that bullish market structure before, like this. And then we found up here that we had our first lower low because this low was lower than this one. And then we had our first lower high because this high was lower than this high. So that was some bearish signs coming in showing, all right, the market may be turning over into bearish market structure. And then that lower high was the last one. And then it came down very hard and made another lower low, another lower high, another lower low, another lower high, and then another lower low. So we identified we're in bearish market structure. So we're using the 1 day, the 2 day, the 3 day, the 1 week to know when to buy. And then we're using the 4 hour, 6 hour, 8 hour, 12 hour to know when to sell. Because like before, when we identified the bullish market structure, how there's plenty more opportunities to sell because it's just constantly going up. Vice versa for bearish market structure. It's just constantly going down and just being dragged out for longer, and any pop up is very short lived and it's rejected and sold off faster because people fear that the market's going to keep going down. So any price rally is sold off quicker because people, expect lower prices. So now that we know we're in bearish market structure right here, let me delete this, and then we can throw on the indicator and know, all right, we're using the 1 day to know when to buy, the 2 day, the 3 day, and the 1 week, and we're trying to match multiple time frames with the signal to know the best opportunity to buy. So right here we had a buy signal right there, right there. Go to the 2 day, had another buy signal come in. 3 day, another buy signal. And then let's even check the 1 week, and nothing there. But we had it on the 1 day, 2 day, and 3 day. So we know this is a great opportunity to buy in this zone right here. And then we noticed how there's no sell signals coming in here. That's because we're in bearish market structure. We need to go down to the lower time frames to compensate for that. So on the 12 hour, all right, no sell signals coming in. Let's check the 8 hour. Nope, nothing. 6 hour. Oh, the 4 hour. All right, so right here we had a sell signal come in. So on the 1 day, 2 day, and 3 day, it told us to buy down here. And then on the 4 hour, we sold right there. And on the 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, it told us to buy right here. And then we noticed that we switched to bullish market structure because we had our low right here, but then we had a higher high than the previous one back here, then a higher low, another higher high, higher low, higher high, and right now we're trying to form another higher low. So now we switch to bullish market structure again. So now we're going to reverse it and use the 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 1 week to know when to sell, and use the 4 hour, 6 hour, 8 hour, and 12 hour to know when to buy, as we did back here during this bullish market structure. So it went from bullish to bearish, now back to bullish. So let's drag this back over. I'm going to delete these. Now we can throw the indicator back on, and we'll use the 1 day because we want to know when to sell. And right here we had a sell signal come in. But remember, we're in bullish market structure, and the previous times that happened, there was many sell signals coming in. So we still have more room to go unless we start seeing a lower low come in with lower highs. Now we know we're switching a bearish market structure, and that we should switch the time frames and then use the kind of like the 1 day, the 2 day, the 3 day to know when to buy, and use the 4 hour, 6 hour, 8 hour, and 12 hour to know when to sell. So now that we know that, we can go down to the 4 hour and know when have there been some good opportunities to buy during these dips. So if we look right here, so we bought during this dip on the 4 hour, and then we bought during this one, and these have been playing out perfect. The 4 hour, it's telling us to buy during these dips because the dips are bought up faster in bullish market structure. And then we'll go to the 1 day to know when we're going to sell. And then we sold once, but we're waiting on more signals to come in. Let's see if we have a buy signal flash on the 4 hour right now. All right, nope, so that's what we're waiting for. The previous dips, so right here, 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 told us to buy, and then we rallied thereafter. So that's what we're waiting to see come in with Bitcoin right now. We're waiting for a 4 hour kind of buy signal to come in. And then once that comes in with the confirmation, we're likely to head up higher. Unless we come down here because we're making the higher lows. If this were to come down and go lower than this low and kind of go like that, now we know we're starting to make bearish market structure. We may not buy on that 4 hour signal. We'll wait until like a 1 day signal comes in, or a 2 day or 3 day to know when to buy. So that's kind of the review of the Stargate strategy, what we went over last week in the consultations. And then you can use that by pairing it with like trend lines, support and resistance. So if we go up here, we could do like some trend lines here. I'm going to take this off for a sec. Let me see. All right. We got some trend lines coming here, and then that broke. So actually, let me delete that. We had one trend line right here come up. So it was riding on this support, broke through, and now it's resistance. So we need this to come back around, go like this, come back up. It may get rejected at first, but it needs to break through this and then hold it as support and keep moving higher like that. But we could draw multiple trend lines. So if I go out to a lower time frame, we can see it better. Then, all right, so we had this one before, right? We saw this, but then we can kind of do this, and it's riding on that support trend line right now. So we can keep drawing these trend lines, but the lower it gets in this, kind of it shows that the trend is weakening, because it was riding on this high, like more upper slope trend line, but then it broke through. Now it's riding on this one. If that were to break through, it's showing that there's price weakness coming in. So we really need to catch up to this one and keep moving higher. Then we can use support and resistance. So right now we're kind of battling with some previous support, now turned resistance. So we want to get through this 50,000, 51,000 level right now. And that's how we can play it. We want to match the indicator with trend lines, support and resistance, identify the market structure so we can have a better idea of, okay, this is where the market's moving. This is a good time to buy. This is a good time to sell. So like right here, we had the support line. So we'll go out to a 1 day, throw the indicator back on, and we had multiple buy signals come in on this previous support line. So, all right, so that's one check, support line, bouncing off of it, okay. Then we had the buy signal flash, that's a number 2. And then we had a trend line right here being broken, like that. So, and then we had the buy signal flash, and then it came up. So this was a great opportunity to buy, because we had multiple kind of confluences coming in saying, all right, this is a great time to buy. It's on support, broke through this trend line, the buy warning and buy confirmation flashed. I'm buying right here. So that's how we use the Stargate strategy. You want to look for multiple things for confluences to know when to buy and when to sell, identify the market structure, look at trend lines, look at support and resistance, use the indicator, and then you'll be better off knowing and having better confidence on, all right, now's a great time to buy or now's a great time to sell. So now that was the update of the Stargate strategy, what we talked about last week. The next video, I'm going to do a market analysis, and we're going to go through multiple coins, and I'm going to give an update on my thoughts on the market.